Welcome back to the Tate Branch Halftime Show. What a game we have been watching so far. Artesia and Roswell at the Wool Bowl. We'll be back to the second half in a moment. But our fan of the week this week is Mr. Royce Pearson. Royce, thanks so much for doing this.
Well, I'm honored to be here, Gene. I kind of secretly hoped that somebody might get me on this sooner or later, but I'm delighted to be here, and whoever nominated me, I really appreciate it.
That's great. Well, let's find out a little bit about yourself. Are you a native Artesian, born and raised here?
I surely am, Gene. I was born in 1957 here at the old Artesia General Hospital.
Okay.
And parents were Raymond and Carol Pearson. They're both deceased, but raised on a farm out here, Cottonwood area. We had raising hay and cotton and whatever else, livestock. And Perry Troublefield standing over there is a very dear friend of my brother's, and he's a dear friend of mine as well.
Yeah. So you grow up here, you get to play sports. I'm guessing, looking at your size and build, you probably played a little football for the Bulldogs.
Yes, sir, I did. Blessed to be a part of the Artesia football program, and they settled. I didn't get to play a lot of defense after junior high. They settled me in on the offensive line, blindside tackle, or we called it tough tackle.
Okay. And who were your coaches when you were playing?
Mike Phipps, Vernon Asbill, T.W. Harvey, Charles Norton, Mike Allen, and Ronnie Maskew.
Okay. And you probably got to play in a state championship game or two?
I got the opportunity as a senior to play. We played Deming for the state title. That was the year we dropped down from, back then it was 4A was the big school classification in Artesia or in the state, and we dropped down to 3A due to student enrollment. But we also saw a legend leave town. L.G. Henderson left and went to Alice, Texas after a 2-8 season my junior year. Mm-hmm. But he was successful in Alice, and I always thought, well, if you can't, LG was such that maybe if we can't compete at the highest level, it's time for me to move. That was always my theory. But.
Yeah. Well, and I think Mike Phipps took over after that, and Mike had a lot of success with the program, and we were well familiar with his career. After high school, what did you wind up going on to do, Royce?
Well, after high school, I went on a football scholarship to Eastern New Mexico University, and things didn't work out there after my first year there, and then I transferred to Texas Tech and graduated Tech at 1980 with a business administration degree.
Okay. And you come back to Artesia. Did you start a family here and follow some more kids through the Bulldog program?
Yes, sir. I came right back to Artesia because at the time I had hired with Halliburton, and with Halliburton had a big yard here in Artesia. I said it just makes sense that I go home. So that's what I did, and married and had 2 children, Rebecca and Ryan, and they're 34 and 31 now, Rebecca being the oldest. And she's blessed me with 2 grandsons. They live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's and you get to follow them as well. You've also served the community. You've been, I know, county commission. You and you held some other roles that help serve our community.
Well, I served city council, county commission 4 years, and I guess the city council was 10 years. Mm-hmm. And enjoyed my public service and all the folks that I came in contact during that period of time.
Sure. And then you continue to work with the kids in the schools. Mm-hmm. After this interview, you're getting ready to go take some cheerleaders to someplace.
Yes, sir. Counted up, Kate Asbill contacted me and asked me, how many years have you been driving an activity bus? And counted up 7 years. And tonight I do get the opportunity to take the cheerleaders to Roswell.
Okay. And how much enjoyment do you get driving those activity buses? That's got to be a lot of fun, especially on the way to, maybe not so much on the way back, depending on the outcome, right?
Well, yeah, it's, you know, I don't know. It's always amazing to me. A lot of times the kids, they compete, don't always win. And even when they lose, they get back on the bus and have a good time. I recall if we'd gotten beaten bad, maybe in a football game or whatever, we didn't dare get on the bus and say a word for that matter. Let's all meditate on what we did wrong and let's do better next time.
That's right. Now, was that the same when you were a student and a player, and has that carried forward even to today?
Well, student player, and I still see that discipline with the kids on the football team, varsity football team. And, you know, it's a thing where you watch junior high kids that don't know quite how to operate on the bus, but they learn, you know, as we go. We have rules about trash, and we have rules about noise in town, and they don't follow along too well when they're younger, but they learn as they go along. It's been a real blessing to these guys here on this football team this year. I've watched them come up since they were in 8th grade. Yeah. So, and I know they're a special group of young men. And I've been running around telling everybody they're one of the best teams Artesia's ever had, and I really believe that.
Well, we're going to find out about that tonight. It's going to be a good game, whatever. Did I also remember correctly, did you also do some umpiring in your career?
Yes, sir. I had 6 years that I had the opportunity to do football, officiate football, baseball, softball, and Dan Lewis even talked me into doing a little basketball.
That'd be quite an experience.
I can't do that. That's too much running, but anyway.
Do you actually hear, like, especially as the umpire, do you actually hear what the people are saying in the stand?
You're supposed to have rabbit ears, but you do hear what they say.
Well, hopefully it was all, good job, Royce, way to go, great call.
And I always tell them I appreciate your opinion, but it's my judgment that really counts.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Here's a mask, here's the ball and strike counter. Give it a try.
You might have to do that. Yeah. Looking back, do you have any fond memories, any particular games when you played high school, any particular games or moments that still stand out in your mind today?
Well, I tell you, being a part of the team, senior year especially, we set out like any other team to be state champions. And we, as I stated earlier, dropping down into a 3A classification, we beat Portales 61-0, Lovington 51-0, Tucumcari 48-0. So our defense was not scored upon. Wow. And I remember a lot of us were on the sidelines, especially in a Tucumcari game after the first half, to allow some of the younger players to get some experience. But then we went on into the good old quarterfinal game with Tularosa, and we went in way overconfident. And we went into the locker room 23-6 behind.
Oh no! I bet nobody was happy at that time.
Bob Cerny was the coach over there, and he had coached here in Artesia. He coached us at the junior high, and he knew us. And I recall Coach Phipps telling T.W. Harvey they got the ball first on the 20-yard line. Of course, Larry Combs always kicked it into the end zone, bring it out to the 20. Coach Phipps said, "T.W., get me that ball back real fast." The first play from scrimmage, Tularosa went 80 yards for a touchdown. And T.W. looks at him and says, "Is that fast enough, Coach?" Yeah, true story.
I could just imagine the look on Coach Phipps' face when he heard that.
Yeah, is that quick enough?
Now, for the fans that may not remember, did Artesia come back and win that game?
We did. I recall that our coaches we don't know what to tell you guys. Alan White, Greg White, our quarterback, Greg White, his dad, he said, "I have plenty I'd like to say to him if you would allow me to." So he gave us a really great halftime pep-up talk, I guess you'd call it, but it was fiery. It was full of passion, and you guys got to wake up, go out there and play like you're capable. And we go out there and we win 24-23.
Wow, what an exciting exciting game. And then you go on to win the state championship.
Yes, yeah, go on to the quarterfinal with Aztec, and then we went on and with Deming for the state title, and we played all 3 games in Bulldog Bowl.
Wow.
So we were fortunate.
That's right. Well, this game's at the Wool Bowl tonight. Then we're back home for Goddard and Mayfield and the first-round playoff game, and who knows what happens after that. But it's a great thing to be a Bulldog, right?
Yeah, it's great to be a Bulldog. What Coach Montragon always says, it's always great to be a Bulldog.
That's right. Well, we have a couple of gifts for you for being our guest on the program today. This is from Tom and the folks at Adobe Rose.
Nice.
A $50 gift card that we like to give to you there. So you are welcome to enjoy that.
Thank you, Tom.
And then we've got from Tate Branch here, orange mug. It says Tate Branch Fan of the Week, #1 Bulldog
I
fan.
have admired these.
From afar.
As I have watched I watched Jeff Bowman not long ago, and Mike Phipps was interviewed. I watched that one and several others. So
Did you stick with the Jeff Bowman interview? Because that was the 53-0 game at Santa Teresa.
Yeah.
Game was done at halftime, and I watched the audience numbers while Jeff was talking just keep going down and down and down.
Yeah. I pretty much watched the whole thing.
Good.
Yeah, Jeff was a senior quarterback when I was a sophomore, and Cooper Henderson was also a senior that year. And they had the team that could have won a state title. I really believe that. We had the city problem where the city workers went out on strike, and it went beyond the strike. It actually got ugly in our community, and I think it created a lot of divisiveness on that football team. So,
Well, it got it turned around and everything. We have a great program to talk about.
oh yeah, that was kind of a dark spot, and probably wish I hadn't mentioned it, but that's what happened.
It's history,
Yeah.
so it's there. Well, tonight, history is going to be made. The #1 team in all of New Mexico and the #2 team in all of New Mexico doing battle. And there's a lot of folks thinking that they'll be meeting again in a few weeks in the Bulldog Bowl, and could very well happen.
I see it happening, and I just I printed something in Facebook. Nooney Rodriguez has a son that plays in the secondary, and I just made the comment about being overconfident, been there, done that, and I know our coaches have them prepared to play. You just don't want to go in there, and they're aware of how good Roswell's football team is.
Yep.
So
We'll get the second half rolling in a minute. Royce, thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Appreciate
Gene.
you doing this.
thank you so much.
And we've got a few more weeks of the season left. If you've got a nomination, reach out to Perry here at Tate Branch, and who knows, they may be next week's Fan of the Week. Thanks for joining us. Second half is coming up next.
Check it out.
Introducing the new and improved taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Now more delicious. Zero never tasted so good. Try it now.
General contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems and
Chance with Trustmark Roofing and Windows, and here's what you should expect during your window inspection.